How is it going, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Gaming in a Podcast. It's going to be a new podcast style format where we take guests every week and we talk to them, do a podcast style of interview, but we're playing a game while we do it. The first guest of Gaming within a Podcast is Chris Lama. So welcome.
Thank you, Noobs.
We're going to go ahead and get you into the game here. If it will actually...
There it is.
All right, so while we wait on him to get in the game, might as well... for people that don't know you, you're a pretty well-known dude. So, in case someone doesn't know you, give yourself a little introduction.
I'm blushing.
Who is the Llama? Who is he?
Let me just figure out how to accept this invite. I think I got it. I am Chris Lama from Parabellum Esports. Also the VP of Esports at Amuka, who is the holdings company for Parabellum. I've been in the esports scene for just over, I think it's over 3.5 years now, something like that. Working with teams and academies, and now working on developing some school programs for colleges who are looking to get into the esports professional side of things.
Nice. That's insane. So I've known you for quite a while. I came into Parabellum back in its infancy when it was just Shattered Dreams. So kind of to piggyback off of that, just your business background, what was the whole reason for wanting to start an esports team? What was the mindset for that?
I think the biggest thing was I was in between work and school and not knowing what I wanted to do, and I just kept on seeing this emerging thing with esports, and I was between starting to get into more traditional sports like baseball leagues and things like that, and ball hockey leagues in our local space, trying to start those myself.
I just saw your character. I'm sorry. What the fuck is that?
I had to stick with the Parabellum colors.
Okay, fair enough. Wish that was a little bit more crimson, but
I tried to match the colors as much as possible. I think it's pretty accurate.
All right, so keep going.
With all of that, I kept on studying and looking into some things, and Justin and I, co-founders of the team, we were sitting down one day and we're like, let's do something crazy. Let's get into esports and maybe we can create a team. Fortnite was big at the time, so we signed a couple of Fortnite players and started to go to local events, and that's really when things started to pop off. Just again with that local development, just being in person, being able to show face, and then we grew to where we are today, with backing from a massive facility, global teams, and of course, as you may know, having a team play on the world stage at the Sixth Invitation.
So talking about growth, SXD coming from a local kind of startup to see it take out teams on the world stage like G2, just what did that feel like?
I think we're still reliving that day by day as we work on more content pieces and things. Just actually seeing a dream come true, to be completely honest, where we wanted to be on the world stage. It was actually in my 5-year plan for us to be at a world-class event, and it happened within 3. So and just hearing from people that I've never spoken to before, oh, you're from Parabellum, I've heard of you guys before. I saw you guys at SI. It's still kind of crazy to see that kind of stuff. So, at the end of the day, still kind of surreal. I don't know how else to answer that.
Yeah, coming from within the org, it feels insane too. Because I'm not even a guy that started Parabellum. I'm just a guy who's just been a part of it for so long. But just playing games and having the Parabellum logo attached to my name, and having sometimes people be like, "Hey, you're with Parabellum, or are you just a fan? And I'm like, no, I do stuff for them. And they're like, dude, that's insane. But yeah, seeing that whole just culmination, it was fun for me to watch. I couldn't even imagine what it was like just to you and J-Core watch all of that unfold.
It was pretty stressful.
Yeah. But, I mean,
And
I know on the back end because I talked to you and J-Core. Well, I talked to you more, but talking to you guys so much, knowing how much work it took to get from SXD to Parabellum and then getting an R6 team and then getting them to SI and then actually having them do well, it was a lot of work. So, just figured I'd ask about that. Now we get into the hard-hitting questions, all right?
all right,
Favorite ice cream?
my favorite ice cream would be gold medal ribbon from Baskin Robbins.
Okay, that's fair. So just to back up more of like a background, what are some of your favorite games growing up? Like what was the game that you played as a child?
My most played game is, if you know me well enough, Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
I lived through the entire era of Pokemon, but my favorite would be like my favorite game of the entire Pokemon generation would be Gen 2, best gen. Don't care what anyone says.
Okay, and that's
Pokemon
that's
Silver.
Johto, right? That's the Johto
Yes,
region, so Totodile and Cyndaquil and all them.
Totodile is the best.
Okay.
Yeah, so Silver was my favorite game. I played it over and over, and I still play it to this day. I just think the whole storyline behind like being able to re-travel back through Gen 1 after you finish like where you're currently located
Mm-hmm.
was really cool for its time. Then getting more into competitive stuff. I've always been an NHL fan,
Okay. Okay.
so I played a lot of NHL. And then J-Core and I spent a lot of time in our youth playing NHL Hits. So we actually relived that a while ago on a live stream, a sponsored stream, where we played NHL Hits and just had a little bit of fun over at Waves.
I don't think I ever played that game. That's more like the arcadey style, right?
Yeah, it's 3v3, no rules.
Got
Kind
it.
of just like you go
Yeah.
at it, you get to hit people and put guys through glass and set your guys on fire when they're doing good stuff.
Jeez.
Hopefully I can get that on the green.
Yeah, no, that's looking good. Nice shot.
Ooh. Thank you, sir.
So I mean, just you kind of piggyback, or you kind of brought it up. Playing Pokemon as a young kid. You actually have a Pokemon channel on TikTok, and how has that been doing? I know you've been doing the box breaks and other stuff. So how has been the whole Pokemon scene been treating you lately?
Yeah, I've kind of developed over time on what I've been trying to do on the Pokemon side, but um, I started a TikTok channel uh, about a year and a half ago, and it really, really caught a lot of attention really quickly. I've met a lot of really good people in the community as well through TikTok, which is cool. And all I did was just do something that I like to do. I just opened Pokemon cards, um, and not even have to worry about talking over my videos or showing face or just doing things. My audience is from all over the world because I don't do things like that. Um, and then what I did is I took that content and I started realizing that people do want more personalized content. So what I did is I took that and I brought it into a live stream,
Mm-hmm.
and through the live stream, getting people engaged and involved and having them be able to buy packs through me at a reasonable price. Where right now scalpers are getting involved, and you know that through the sports card
Yep.
side. It's super hard to get your hands on cards in the first place. And then the second thing is I've got some packs that scalpers are reselling for
Three
sometimes
times the normal amount.
exactly
And
like and
yours are just enough to where you make a little bit of a profit, but they're not gonna like break the bank for anybody.
well, if you look like if I look at my margins, I'm not even making a large profit off of my
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Just because you have to take into account uh like general shipping fees and what else can I add in there? Like sleeves, and my time is involved with that too, right? I'm
Hmm.
not just making the content like for free. So people who come to my stream and watch and engage, like,
Well, I think that's where the ROI comes into play. The investment part is that even though your margins are a little slimmer, like you're already doing really well on the Twitch stream. I mean, I think well, you've already hit affiliate. Well, you were at affiliate for a while, but the
yeah.
streams have been popping lately. You're getting
My stream average as of late has been around 19-20 per stream, and generally when I'm playing games and things, it would sit around 6 or 7. Just I consider that just to be based on the community that's been built over time.
mhm.
But people are I'm retaining my audience doing these Pokemon pack openings, even if they're not actively purchasing or engaged. They're just hanging around to see what other people are getting and other polls, and like we're just trying to develop that a little bit more. So I've been buying more expensive packs, gonna do more personal box breaks because people also like to see what I'm buying for myself.
Mhm.
And some of the money that all of the money, not some of the money, all of the money that has been earned through Twitch streams for Pokemon has gone back into that stream. I don't put it into my pocket and spend it
Mhm.
on going golfing or other games and stuff. It's all going right back to the content that I want to provide on my page. So more packs, more expensive packs that people really can't get their hands on. Those are the kinds of things that I wanna start getting more of.
Well, yeah, and I mean that's the biggest thing is just being able to provide a space for someone to get those packs because I mean like you said it's you brought it up where I know about the sports card market that it's ridiculous to where if you don't have like an in somewhere or you don't quote unquote know a guy like you're not going to be able to get hands on it and that's all right for people like you and me because we have ways to get it but when you got to think about Pokemon's advertised for a younger audience and then those kids miss out but this kind of gives it an opportunity. It's a fun way to open cards and it's not being a scalper because everybody hates
Yeah, and
scalpers.
that's exactly. That's the one thing I tried to communicate with everyone is where that money goes and the extra costs that are incurred when I'm looking at how I price things.
Hmm.
So if a pack should cost you $5 when you buy it at Walmart, it might cost $7 on my stream.
Whereas
It's
on
not that
eBay
much
that
more
same
money.
pack might be I've seen some get 3 times the amount it's normally worth just for one single pack, especially if it's like in like a, what is it like a, what's the ones Shining Fates and Evolutions like that stuff gets expensive.
Yeah, Evolutions right now is about $30 a pack.
Yeah, it's
Um,
ridiculous.
and I just sold. I've got 2 more packs available on my stream for 27. To obviously keep it at that same price point,
Yeah,
because they're recent buys, so it's not like I got them for super cheap. I did not get them for 30, so why should I be selling them for more than $30?
exactly. Yeah, no,
Just
you
because the market says that I should be selling them for $30.
you already had to pay secondary price for them anyway just to get your hands on them. So,
Right.
but so going away from Pokemon and back into esports, um, oh, that lags so hard on my screen.
Yeah, same with mine.
um, what are like? Do you have a favorite esport that you watch? Like, or is there any, or do you kind of just pay attention to all of them?
That's a loaded question.
I just
I
hit
might
it in
have
the
said a
water.
lot.
Good
Oh,
lord.
go swimming. I hope you got your snorkel. Um, I might upset some people here, but it is what it is. Honestly, my favorite esport to watch, just because it's so easy to watch, is Rocket League.
Okay.
Um, I love watching our teams play in anything that they're in. The difference is I don't understand half the stuff that goes on at highly competitive levels of
Hmm.
Rainbow Six or Valorant. Um,
You could tell he
the
wanted that one by the grunt.
FPS games are fun to watch. Just Rocket League, just such a pure, traditional slash esports game.
And why
It
is
just
Rocket League the top tier esport? No, I'm just kidding.
why?
I'm just kidding.
No,
But
that's a genuine question. Like it technically should be. I mean, Rocket League should be broadcasted on TV.
mhm.
Because it's the one game that's so easy to break into the generation that does not understand because it's so easy to watch. It's so
It's a
easy to
simple
engage
game.
in. And the skill level to be the best players in the world, I think it's one of the hardest games to be in that top tier of play. And you know for a fact that that's probably close to true.
Yeah, I mean, and I would
Not giving anything away from other games, right? Like of
no,
course.
but I
But
think
just Rocket League's a
that's the
tough
big
game to
thing.
become.
Oh yeah, it's really difficult because it's one of those games like you. I'm not saying that you don't have to put in the time with the other ones, but I think it's so easy to market, especially to like a not just the older audience, but a younger audience. Like there's ability for high school sports and collegiate sports because it's just an easy marketable game. There's no violence, there's no killing, there's nothing that would get you kicked out of school or just have a school deny it. And I think it's just I mean, it's an all-around fun esport. Boy, I like water. um, but yeah, it's just things like as much as I enjoy games like Rainbow Six and other stuff, it's just at the highest level of play. And I've played Rainbow Six for a long time, and I mean, I'm not good at the game, but I enjoy the concept of it. But just like during SI, I realized how ignorant I am at the game. Oh,
So close. Let's go.
But like I'm sure you heard it too. Like there would be some times where a player does something, and it could just be something not in a gunfight. They make a rotation hole or whatever, and the high level player's like, oh my goodness, that's a good play, and you're like, he just made a hole in a wall, like. But then you realize later on how important that play was. Whereas Rocket League, like when someone does something amazing, and I don't know. For me, it's just easier to follow, and like you said, easier for new people to understand.
You've played Rainbow Six with us. We're clueless when we play.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. For the casual fan, like during SI, I mean, I was telling friends and family like, hey, watch, and every now and again I would forget that I texted to someone who doesn't normally watch games. Like I had a friend text me and be like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, they're playing a game, and he's like, well, what is it? And realizing having to explain Rainbow Six to someone who's never watched esports is really difficult. Whereas I can explain to someone, hey, what's Rocket League? Oh, it's car soccer.
Yeah.
Blue scores on orange, orange scores on blue. Simple. And you fly around. And they're like, oh, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. And then you see the actual mechanics that these guys are doing, and you're like, how the hell did they just pull that off?
It's nuts. I'm +2, by the way. Good lord.
Okay. I just lost a stroke. Windy day out here on the golf course.
Oh yeah, it's a gusty day.
Oh, you crushed that.
Get off the cart path. So you've already mentioned one of your favorite esports moments, which is your team beating G2, which is another favorite team of yours. What's another favorite esport moment, like one that could be from Parabellum, could not be? Just what's something that you think is just a top tier moment in esports?
There's another loaded question. You got these today.
Dude, I'm on it, bro.
Oh, there's that tree.
Hey, watch. Oh, and you hit the cart. You're not supposed to go. Goodness, you went a long ways.
Yeah, my guy's not happy.
That was crazy.
Put too much dye in my hair.
Good
oh,
Lord.
I'm still. Wait, hold on.
Hey, you're not OB, dude.
Oh no. How am I gonna get out of here?
You may just have to pitch it out, dude. Yeah. Oh, he's swinging for the fences. Let's see how well this goes.
Let's see how this plays out. All right. Well, I'm just gonna do like a 50% swing.
Hey, that works. That's playable. That's playable. That's
Oh,
playable.
that's big brain right there.
That was good. No, that was smart shot from Lama, guys. I mean, you might be able to stick this close and save par.
Oh no.
Never mind.
I'm trying to think about an answer for your question. And it's so hard for me to answer that. I think I'm gonna talk about something that's not even like a considered tier 1 for this.
Okay, go ahead.
So a few years ago, one of our players, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Hold on. One of our players at the time, and I'm sure you remember him, Nick Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We were at an event, a local event, and it was a Fortnite event back when he was still doing Fortnite. He's a big creator in the Call of Duty space now with Warzone.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at this event, and it was like a Fortnite kill race type deal, and they didn't tell anyone what their positions were at the time, and then they called up the people who were the winners to the stage one by one for top 10, and the winner of the entire event got to get a contract signed by Luminosity.
Mm-hmm.
So
what a putt, dude. Nice. Way to save bogey right there.
That was a rough hole. Back-to-back bogeys. So I just remember being in the crowd and waiting for all these guys' names to be called. Mostly people I know, mostly locals from our community. And just waiting and waiting and waiting. And then being there and seeing the reaction when Nick's name got called was like, that beats any other feeling I could feel for any other esports team, other than like being directly a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we had an actual connection with this player, with this kid who was trying to live his dream, playing esports for a living, playing games for a living, creating content for a living, all of that.
I suck, dude.
And just being there when it actually happened was incredible.
No, that definitely had to feel good. And you said he got signed because he won the whole event. He got signed by Luminosity, right?
Yeah, so he got a short-term contract with them for specific events.
Okay.
And like, just again, it was just seeing all of the players' faces that weekend, like even being that close to getting that opportunity. It was just awesome to watch and great to be a part of that whole. Oh no! Stop rolling. Thank you. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I that beats any other moment from other esports teams or leagues, because I just don't have that emotional connection like I do the people who have been involved with that team.
That makes sense. And is that like an amateur event, or were there like actual other like pros there? Was it just all local amateurs just trying to get a shot?
Yeah, exactly that. It was an amateur tournament. I think it was open for anyone to join, but it was in Toronto. It was at EGLX.
So
it was just
a lot of locals, non-pro theirs. Okay.
Lots of locals, lots of people who weren't anybody in the community, or other people who were actually like well known in our local community.
Okay.
We're just all there for to try to get this opportunity to get signed for a couple of events with Luminosity.
Nice putt. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Is that a birdie?
I'm learning how to putt.
Okay. Good job.
I think that's the hardest part about this game is the putting.
Hardest part is keeping the swing tempo for me. That's what I screw up the most.
Are you on mouse or are you on?
I'm on controller. I play controller. Everything. Are you playing mouse and keyboard?
I'm playing with the mouse, and I find it really easy to like just draw with it. But that's just me.
So for the amateur dudes trying to make it in esports, whether it be a pro or whether it just be someone just trying to get into the industry. I mean, I guess the first question is, do you think, like, how big do you think esports can get as an industry? Because you see teams like FaZe and C9 and all these have ridiculous amounts of revenue, but for the middle tiers, like, how long do you think it's going to take before, or do you ever think it's going to get to the point where we're surpassing sports, like big sports?
I think we're there. I think it's time for everybody to start getting into it, and I think it's time for everybody to start thinking about gaming as a whole as opposed to esports. The gaming industry is way bigger, right? Um, so that's the. It's hard to relate.
Oh,
Oh, it's hard to. Well, we can't have gaming. We can't have esports without gaming.
Mm-hmm.
First off, it's just about making sure that people understand the difference between the two.
Yeah.
And why what you and I are doing right now would not be considered esports.
No.
Although we're talking about esports.
Just two dudes having fun.
Two dudes having fun. Name of the podcast. It's. I mean, that's a tough question to answer for sure. Because a lot of what we do, even if you look at what we're doing with merch and apparel, like it has no connection to esports whatsoever. We're actually trying to separate them from esports, like our apparel. Oh no! Like our apparel side and our content side, all of that, because that's what generates the most revenue. Esports teams are not always the best at providing revenue, although they generate for all those other areas and spaces.
Yeah. So I guess that would kind of be my question is, like, not necessarily esports teams, because content and apparel. I mean, 100 Thieves, they make what, majority of their money from apparel, don't they?
Content and apparel.
Yeah. So how long do you think it would be before the actual teams start making money to the level that sports teams make? Because I guess that comes from investors and watch time.
Comes from broadcasting rights and all kinds of different aspects. Ticket sales, in-person events, things like that, which not all teams are going to have. We have the luxury of having our own facility, whereas other teams don't necessarily have that.
I mean, that could open it up to once life resumes. I mean, you could definitely play a tourney and have people come in and watch them live while they're playing at this place. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's something we're planning on doing in the future, in the near future, is having watch parties and things like that for our team when we're playing games, when the Rainbow Six team's playing, and just getting people out to the event, meet and greets, all that good stuff.
Holy, what a shot! You ate your damn Wheaties today, didn't you, Lama? Holy.
a little far.
So, I mean, there was this whole upward trend with esports anyway, but do you think that, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. Do you think COVID kind of sparked the whole... Because, I mean, there was a huge upward trend in esports, but being locked inside for almost a year, I mean, there's really nothing else to do when you're an 18 to 24-year-old person playing video games. I mean, do you think that kind of sparked the big boom that's happening with...
Yeah, for sure. If COVID didn't happen, I think we were still on a good trajectory to be where we're
100%,
at.
Yeah.
But I think we're a year or so ahead of where we could have been. And you have to think some traditional sports outlets like NASCAR was one of the best and first to get into the esports space by producing...
That was huge.
Yeah.
Put it on TV.
The series on TV. Like getting their drivers involved and doing things, and my family watched that. They thought it was awesome. Yeah, they're originally NASCAR fans, but like watching them watch virtual, or seeing them watch virtual cars go around the track was just like pretty awesome. So yeah, it 100% helped, but as long as those that age group that you just talked about didn't waste their time just playing games. Sure, they could have been getting better with the game, working on their skills in the game, but if they didn't do anything about it, like create content and start showcasing what they can do in game, then all they did was waste time. They wasted 2 years of their life
Exactly.
doing nothing. And I talk about that to like guys all the time. I'm like, if you're not creating content, no one's ever gonna know who you are.
I think that's the biggest thing is content. I mean, this right here, I mean, it's content. I mean, my thing for me is, wow, that was slow. But we're on the green, boys. Oh, we're off the green, boys. I mean, I don't tell too much, but you know, haven't been able to have a job as of late. I mean, there's really nothing else to do, so kind of hop on the content grind. Content's kind of been something that I've been doing, but you know, I mean, you said it yourself. You're nobody unless you're making content. Like that's you know, you can be as good as you want as a game, but no one's gonna know who you are if you don't show it online, where everyone's locked in and you know, dopamine's at the hit of a button. All you gotta do is just post a couple banger clips, and then people know who you are.
That's it. And I'm seeing that with a lot more people lately, and I would like to see it. And I love your YouTube videos.
I got plenty more coming, man.
I watched your first shift video today, and I thought it was pretty funny. Kind of makes me want to try that game out. But if we live in a fast-paced content generation, and it's kind of always been like that, with low attention, high conversion, not high conversion, sorry, low retention kind of lifestyle where you can produce something really high quality and then I'm never going to see you again.
Exactly.
So if you don't sell me on that first video and I don't click that follow button, there it is.
Dude, that's an eagle, dude. Nice. Gets you back to even. That was insane.
First eagle of my career. Thank you very much.
Good job, Lama. I'm glad I got that on the cam.
It happened. But yeah, talk about TikTok for a quick second. Like, you have 7 seconds really before I'm likely to just scroll on to the next person. So if you can't hook me in that short period of time or create content that makes me want to stay, then you lost me, and you probably lost me forever. Because as soon as the algorithm sees me swipe past your profile, you're gone.
And I think that's one of the, I mean, TikTok is kind of one of the only platforms where, you know, and I think it's the only one where you might be able to get a second chance, just because the For You page is so, like, if you're that content creator that, you know, does gaming, my For You page is, of course, I post gaming, I watch gaming stuff, so that's what pops up on my For You page a lot. There's been times where, like, you know, I scroll past someone's name and then, like, 30 minutes later they pop up again, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll check out their page. So right. I think that's whereas
trying to tell me something.
Yeah, whereas like YouTube and Instagram, once that's gone, it's done for the most part. Especially with YouTube, if you click off of someone's video, they're most likely not going to come back.
Right.
So YouTube doesn't even recommend it. Because the first question that I wanted to ask, and kind of had to go all the way around to, with esports on that upward trend and then being sparked by the whole COVID pandemic. I mean, for someone trying to break into esports, like whether it's a player or being involved in the back end of it, like what are some traits or like steps that they have to do to kind of get involved?
Network. Okay. Network. You don't have to have experience. It's hard to have experience in.
I mean, we see that with Jake.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, some Jake slander.
But for real, it comes down to like actually caring and having passion and trying right now, especially with our team. Like, I'm not too concerned about people that don't have experience. Um, you know me to give chances and give opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
and for those people who prove themselves, good things happen. So if you can start by networking and showing your worth and showing what you can do without people having to ask, um, I say that, I think I've probably said this 1,000 times, sending a hey or a yo or a this or that on social media, like in my DMs, it's never gonna work. Um, but if you actually show your past work or show why you want to be a part of a team or show something, you're more than likely going to get a response. And if you send an email with a CV or portfolio or whatever it is, like, that's stuff that we want to see. So now that events are going to start coming back up again, networking in person is huge. Don't be scared to go to an event and not know anybody there, because everyone is there for the exact same reason.
Mm-hmm.
So you already have a foot in the door. You don't have to be like, oh, why are you here? Well, I'm here for the Twitch meetup. Oh, like, no, hey, oh, what game do you stream? You must be a streamer if you're here, right? Or whatever. Or maybe you see somebody wearing a sweater that you like, and you're like,
Yep.
oh, I know that team, or I know that player or person or whatever.
Well, I think
So
there's
just
a
finding connections.
yeah on that. I mean, networking aspect. I think probably one of my favorite moments in just gaming for me was going to RLCS Season 4 in DC. I mean, it was a birthday present for me turning 19. You know, my dad helped me pay for some of it, and I went completely alone. And I was nervous at first because I was just like, I don't know any of these people. But then you realize once you get there, like, all these people have the common interest. So you've already got step one of talking to these people, and the amount of people that I talked to during that weekend event was ridiculous. You know, just this is in the water. But you know what I mean? Like, it was 3 days of being able to talk to pro players, upcoming pro players, developers, you know, other streamers, big events. Like, there was reps from people like big companies that were not a part of, you know, esports at all. Like, there was a guy from Brisk there, and Old Spice, and like all these other people, because they were sponsoring RLCS at the time. But I mean, there was just a collection of people, and they all had one common interest, which was Rocket League. So
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
those events are big, and I can't wait till the world opens back up again, because having a event where we can all go to RLCS together and hang out. You know, comp's gonna be there one day, along with
Yeah, for sure.
with the other rosters. So,
Um, the one thing I can say is you're gonna get the most out of life when you step out of that comfort zone.
mm-hmm.
And really just start living. Like, that's the best way to put it. I wouldn't have met a lot of people if I didn't take the risk of entering Rocket League. If I didn't enter esports, um, it's a scary world at times, but at the same time, like, there's a lot of good people out there, and as long as you align yourself with those good people,
Mm-hmm.
then good things will happen.
And
Oh,
I mean, I
curl.
think that's the fun thing, because I mean, when I started, I mean, coming into playing Rocket League since 2015, 2016, wanting to get to that level of pro and realizing that, yeah, I can't do this. I think stepping out of that and going to content and managing has probably been one of the best transfers, because I've been able to learn so much more about the scene, about what, you know, the proper traits a player needs to have, what kind of mindset they need to work on, just the behind the scenes of what it takes to schedule a team and get them prepared for, you know, tournaments and other things. I think that's been I mean, of course, I thank you, Lama, for giving me that opportunity to make that switch, because I remember asking you a year ago, hey, can I do content? So I do thank you for letting me make that switch. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff to learn in esports, and I mean, in a way, everyone's kind of learning at the same time, because the esports industry is so new. I would say. That's just one of the traits that I see that should probably happen, is the ability to learn and just understand that you don't know anything. I think that's one thing about esports, is that most people have an ego because it's online. You can kind of hide a little bit.
Of course, and that's why our best genuine experiences have happened in person, because it's easier to read a person in front of you than it is.
Yeah, 100%. Wow, hit that a little short.
We both hit those pretty short.
that wind was kind of crazy. Let me sink this putt real quick.
All right.
Never
this
mind.
is where I'm struggling, is that putting aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Reading the greens is tough. I asked the other day, I was like, I need tiger vision.
Yeah. You can, I don't know what button you can hit, but there's like a putt line where you can...
Yeah, it's R.
Yeah.
But you can only use it once. So I just hope for the best once I do my alignment.
That's a pretty darn good putt.
I'd rather be a little bit long than short, but that'll do.
I'm probably going to put this right past the cup.
You've been golfing a bit, no?
Yeah. I mean, not too much lately because it just gets so expensive. But are you talking about like real life?
Yeah, real life.
Yeah. No, me and my dad go every now and again. We hit the white ball around in the woods for a little bit.
Nice. I'm going to be golfing a couple times this week.
I'm not too good. I mean, I guess so. I mean, let's kind of get off of esports for a second. What's your favorite course you've ever played? Favorite course? Just, I know you've probably played a lot. We can kinda...
Honestly, I play a lot of the same courses, but my favorite course is here in Ontario. It's called Wooden Sticks, and there's replica holes of some of the greatest courses in the world.
That's pretty crazy.
So I played there last year for the first time with a few friends, and we just first time the courses were open post-COVID for a little bit. This better land on the fairway.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Wow.
They
wanted me to hit a 3-wood there.
You said, no, I'm going yard.
I'm like, no, I'm my driver. We're going for another eagle. I'm gonna get 2 eagles in one course. But that course there was it's well kept. It's not cheap, but you get stuff out of it. So we went home that day with a nice windbreaker. At the end of the night, or it was a nice zip up sweater. You get the round of golf. You get 2 meals and full cart, all the whole package. It's all priced in together, so it's really good experience. I'd go there again. I highly recommend for anyone in the area to go there as well. But I haven't been able to golf some of those heavy duty courses yet. I have golfed one.
That's gonna roll.
I have golfed on one PGA course here as well, the one that they do the RBC Canadian Open on.
Okay. Which one's that one?
I've golfed there. I think it was Glen Eagle, I believe.
Okay, I've heard of that course. Yeah.
It's a really nice course in Markham area, if that's the right one. Glen something. It's a lot of fun. Very tough course, but I like a nice challenging course.
So is that the hardest course you've ever played, or is there...
I've golfed some pretty crazy hard courses that want me to never just go back again. Eagle's Nest is a tough course, and it's very close to me as well. It's very hilly.
Yeah, those hills are insane. Probably the most insane course I've ever played. I forget the name of it. I could probably find it and put a picture of it up in this video, but it's in me and some buddies went to a trip in Virginia, and we played at this resort in the mountains, and they literally cut a golf course into the mountain. But yeah, it was, everything slopes down to the right, and me being a left-handed golfer, kind of played into my favor a little bit, but definitely one of the hardest courses I've ever played. all my buddies who were right-handed just kept launching it off the mountain. So it was kind of ridiculous.
All right, we're playing for the
Yeah,
green
this
here.
is a close match we got going on right now. So were you always like a big fan of like competition? So it made that transfer into esports. We're going back to esports now. Look at this segue, huh? Always been a fan of that kind of competition style, so it made it kind of easy to get into esports. I mean,
Not really, to be honest.
did you ever play sports growing up or anything?
Yeah, I played traditional sports, baseball, hockey, but I never competitively played video games. I just always played. Wow, nice shot. I always played video games casually for fun, and I was never really good at games. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm more in this for the marketing side of things, and than I am for the gaming
Mm-hmm.
aspect. It's just a nice thing that's attached to it. Get in!
Oh, Lama, that was so close. Almost hold in for eagle. Hold up. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a hard putt. I'm aiming all the way out here.
You saw your line. And you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
So there's some days where I'm off the green and I'm like, I just want to put this as close as possible so I don't have to worry about putting.
Yep.
I chipped in once from like 125 yards out,
I
and it was the best experience of my life, knowing that as I got up to the green, I
You're like-
saved about 7 strokes.
You're
And I
like,
didn't
dude, I
even
will
mean
have
to
to
put it
four
in.
putt.
I just aimed for the pin and I was like, we're going for it. And I got up there and I'm like, that would have been a
I've-
2-putt minimum.
I've tapped in for birdie one time in high school during a match. We were playing at the country club because my school was in the school itself was in a lower income area, but the city that it was in a higher income area. So the school course that we got to play on was at a country club. So it was really fun. I mean, and I remember one day I was just like, God, I'm like 200 something yards out from the pin. Just grabbed my 3-wood and just ripped it, and it landed like maybe 2 feet from the pin.
Nice.
And having my coach sit there and watch me do that, I was just like, yeah, I'm pretty good at this game. And then never did anything else after that, but that was fun.
I bought a pair of shorts yesterday at the golf store that looks pretty much like the attire that you have on right now in game.
Dude, I would
think you'd be
I would
pretty proud
tear
of me.
the course up if I actually played like that. If I was wearing this while I played, oh my goodness, I'd be one dapper dude.
Oops. Oh no, what did I just do?
So I guess I'll get into some other questions here. What's the future for Mr. Chris Lama? Like what's the next few months to a year looking like here for you? Just within esports, life, just in general.
So let's talk esports first. A lot of my job right now is less involved with Parabellum as it was before. I think that Parabellum's in a good state at the moment, so I can trust the team that's involved to kind of start working on what they're working on. I lost what club I'm trying to use right now, so give me a sec. Chip shot, splash, chip, flop, pitch, normal, chip.
Just remember, chip. It's gonna bump a little bit. It's gonna run a little bit. So probably wouldn't use it too high of a club. That works out.
That didn't work.
No, it works. It'll roll.
Yeah,
There you go.
I
Not too bad.
Could have given it a little more.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Parabellum's in a good spot. everyone who needs to be doing what they're doing is doing what they're doing, so that makes me happy. But my focus, just short.
No, dude.
My focus over the next little bit is to kind of bring to life the Northern Shield company. We want to start focusing more on the development stuff with that, and just get some new programs and teams and things like that just involved with the esports side, on the management, on the marketing, on the professional development side of esports.
Yeah, because I mean, right now for Northern Shield, you only got the Rocket League boys, which you know, one of them has been with us since almost the very beginning, and then bringing in Jake, who's a good friend of the team and a good friend of everybody. He's one of those people that, like you said, had no experience in esports, but you know, comes in with the kind of he cares, and you know he cares, so you know you're going to get a good job out of him. He may not know, I mean, most of us coming into the team may not know a lot about esports, but I mean, he's here willing to learn. But are there other games that you're kind of like looking at, like what's good for the academy scene? Because Rocket League's pretty easy to get an academy started for. I mean,
probably League of Legends, Valorant are a couple of good ones.
Never really focused on League of Legends. That game is just too above my tiny brain power. Carball and dodgeball, like that's all my brain's willing to think about.
Yeah, I feel that. It's not the easiest game to understand at all times. Those two for sure. Obviously, sticking with Rocket League. Rainbow Six is going to be a tough one, but we're going to try to do something along that line.
Mm-hmm. Oh, stay on.
Spin.
It's not bad. This is a hard green. We're on the second to last hole. Probably one of my favorite holes ever, just because it's so iconic.
So they actually have this replica hole at that course that I played.
Really?
Yeah.
TPC Sawgrass 17 is just iconic. All right, so back to the academy.
Game-wise, not really sure. We're just going to see where we're at, but more so starting to get more conversation happening, some more courses, some panels and live events and things like that, where we can actually start teaching the more business side of esports as opposed to like in-game. Games have a lifespan. Content, business development, marketing, yes, they evolve, but they're always going to be a part of the industry. So they need to be taught, and people need to understand how things work. And I mean, team development as a whole is always going to be a part of things, but you should be able to now start transitioning into another game with no problem, knowing that you've already managed another team. The major best practices don't necessarily change. The game changes.
Yep, the content changes of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that with CSGO. There's a lot of CSGO pros who are,
getting into Valorant.
Yep, they're getting into Valorant, and they're just tearing it up. And they may have not been, the best CSGO player, but coming into the game, they know how to be at that high level, so that makes the transfer to Valorant, much better for them. I have to hit this right. There's a lot of water here. Yeah, that works. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Oh, okay.
Very nice. Now I can play this hole the nice.
Yeah, and you can play this however you want, really. I mean, if I was playing this course in real life,
I'd be in the water.
No, I don't. I am 7-ironing this hole the entire way. So yeah, we're coming down to the final 18. Is there any other, final moments or final things you want to say? I mean, drop your drop your socials, and then I'll put them also in the description of this as well. But
Yeah, for
we're
sure.
getting to the end here.
It's unfortunate. It went by pretty quick. An hour goes by pretty quick these days. All of my socials are very, very easy to find me. I try to keep everything similar, as I highly recommend everyone should. Sticks it.
Nice.
It's Chris Lama on all social medias, every single platform, Twitch, YouTube. Actually, not YouTube. I don't have a YouTube yet, so stay tuned.
You need to make a
Twitch,
YouTube.
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter are my main four. And then YouTube is coming. I actually have somebody helping me out with a YouTube channel right now to start getting my Twitch content into YouTube content. So more pack openings and things like that for my my Pokemon side for that.
I'm super excited. Very clinical. This is the part where we take off our hats and shake hands.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wearing a hat, but
I actually have a hat on, so
so
I
I'll
just
take
took it
mine
off
off.
and
Like, yeah.
shaking your virtual hand.
So I mean, kind of just one more question. You kind of got a sneak peek of it on Twitter. Just to finish this out, what is a piece of advice that sticks with you, and where did you get it from? Who gave you the advice?
I guess I should have paid attention to Twitter today.
Good. It's a good last question. I just want to.
Piece of advice. Oh man, you've got me stumped right now. It was probably from college. And it was in my photography program. I can't remember exactly which professor told me this, but it was to step outside of your comfort zone on everything that you do or every shoot that you're on. And just I can't remember. Like, I want to try to quote as much as possible, but I can't. But it's something along the lines of just like making sure you're stepping out of your comfort zone and not always following the rules. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No,
follow the law.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
break
No.
the law. Don't break the law, but like
Well,
there's
especially
rules.
in that.
Some rules are in place to be broken.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and in
And
those
you're gonna
creative
get the best out of
settings, I mean, you can blur the lines a little bit. Like, and you're talking about photography. You can kind of step out and do whatever you want when it comes to that. Of course, like you said, follow the law. But yeah, so I mean, that's a good piece of advice, and that's something that will stick with you.
Yeah, and it took a while to stick with me, obviously, but it's kind of something I said earlier is just like go out there and network with people that you don't know, talk to people that you don't know. You never know the opportunities that you're going to get out of that one random person who's sitting at the table drinking beer by themselves at a networking event. That person might be your next boss. You might be in their next podcast, whatever it is. So yeah, just get uncomfortable.
I mean, think about it. All this started with a little discussion for wanting to start an indie gaming league in Rocket League, and now here we are, podcast content, almost 2 years later.
Exactly, man.
It's like kind of ridiculous.
We still haven't gotten to meet you in person.
Yeah, dude, what the hell, man?
I did get to meet a few of the players recently and content creators and team and whatnot, and it's been great. But hopefully soon, borders will open properly, and I'll be able to get down there and see you, and all will be well.
100%. Super excited because I still actually have some Pokemon cards that you need to take.
Right.
So, all right. I mean, well, that concludes the episode of first episode of gaming in a podcast. I mean, super happy you were able to get on, and I had a good time talking with you. So
Thanks for having me.
it's gonna be pretty crazy. All right. Well, I mean, that's it.
Jeez.
So I'll see you guys later.